Hello everyone and welcome to the Blooming Lotus. This is Bertina Amy here, hoping to help make your day a little bit better by watching one of these videos. Today we are going to be working on making this lovely girl gnome inspired by Valentine's Day. Supplies used for this project will be in the description box below. To start, you'll definitely need one 8x10 crafter square canvas board from the Dollar Tree. You'll also need carbon paper, and I'll put a link in the description box below. The template I'm using is actually from my Etsy shop, and the link for that is also going to be in the description box below. If you stay till the end of the video, there's going to be a 50% discount off of this template as well. You'll need at least 8 different colors of acrylic paint in 2 ounces or more. I recommend the Apple Barrel brand that's available at both Amazon and Walmart for just 50 cents for each 2-ounce bottle you purchase. You'll want colors for the sky, grass, hair, outfit, and the skin. I went with blue, green, white, black, brown, and pink. I did also try to do red. Unfortunately, the red I had on hand was a fabric paint and it doesn't look good, so you'll see later on that I repaint over top of it with regular acrylic pink paint instead. I also use peach for the skin, but you can actually make peach with lots of white and a little bit of orange. You'll also need paintbrushes. I went with what I had on hand. You can actually purchase the paintbrushes either at Dollar Tree or Walmart, up to you. Since this is a basic painting, we're not doing anything fancy with the different sizes or variations. You can go with what feels comfortable for you. You'll also need a Sharpie as well to later outline the entire project when you're done. To start, make sure you prep your work area with paper to cover your table if you need to, unless you're like me and have something already and aren't worried about whether or not it gets ruined. And then you'll also need a cup of water. I recommend plastic cups, or take one of those water bottles that you have lying around, those recyclable ones, and fill it up with water and stick your paintbrush in that. You don't need to go out to the store or buy a bunch of plastic cups from the Dollar Tree or anything like that. To start, you'll want to take the template. I recommend trimming it to size. I didn't end up doing that. I just wanted to go right for it. And if you want to do that, you can do that too. You're just going to want to make sure you have it as evenly as possible surrounding the 8x10 canvas board itself. If you don't have carbon paper or you can't get carbon paper, go ahead and take a sheet of paper and completely cover it with pencil. Just completely color the whole sheet of paper with pencil. Once you remove the canvas board from the packaging, go ahead and take one sheet of your carbon paper and place it right on top of your 8x10 canvas board. Then take your template and lay that as evenly as possible as you can on top of that. If you want, you can tape it down. I skipped this step because I just like to get to it. I went ahead and used a pencil to trace around the template design. If you don't have pencil, you can use a pen. I do recommend pencil. There's just something about pencil that I feel actually probably gets the template on there better. Now, it wasn't until I finished this project that I realized that I missed some hearts along the outfit design. You can choose to leave them or put as many as you want, or all of them. That is totally up to you. You can totally customize this to your liking. You'll see that once I completed tracing the template design, I went ahead and took my Sharpie and outlined all of that because I wanted it to show through once I started painting so that I could later outline it after the fact as well. I'm going to go ahead and speed through the process of me outlining this template so that we can get to the painting part. I happen to have 2 different shades of blue on hand, so I start by painting the sky first, and then I went to the grass, and I only had 1 shade of green, so I ended up using blue to give some darker areas of the grass to make it look like blades of grass instead of just one solid color. If you want to make this really, really basic, you could just use the 8 colors you have on hand of the different shades of blue and green. If you want a lighter shade of blue to look more like a sky blue, definitely recommend that you take whatever shade of blue you got, or just buy a shade of sky blue instead. But you could take basic blue and mix it with white until you get the color that you like. For the sky, I purposely used 2 different shades of blue since I had them on hand, and you'll notice that I don't completely blend it all the way out. It's up to you if you want to do that, but if you want to do that, I do recommend that you do that on a separate plate like I show in the yellow plate. I don't actually squeeze any of the blue into that because I knew I wanted variations of shades of blue for the sky. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. For the grass, I first took my basic green color. If you have a lighter color, you could start with that. It's always recommended that you start with a lighter color first. So I start with my basic green color because it's the only green I had on hand, and I color the entire area of the grass green. And then I take blue, the darker shade of blue that I had on hand, cobalt blue, and I use that to make strokes of the blades of grass. And you'll notice that the blue actually darkens the green to make it look more like a dark teal so that it looks like shadows of the blades of grass. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. My apologies for my arm always getting in the way. Next time I do this project, I will make sure to put my cup someplace else so that my arm doesn't keep blocking the view. Then I go ahead and get started on painting the outfit because it's the next biggest area. I go from biggest areas to smaller areas. I like to go from outward and then inward towards the main image in the center. So I'm painting the big cloth part of the hat and then the outfit that she actually wears on her body. I start out with this pink. I actually wanted to go with a stronger color, so I went with red, not knowing that this red was going to be a terrible acrylic fabric paint to use on canvas board. So if you have fabric acrylic paint, don't use it. Learn from my mistakes. So I later go back over it with a different shade of pink because I had several shades of pink. I just didn't have any red. If you insist on having red for Valentine's Day, that's fine. If pink is just fine with you, that's also okay. Or maybe you like pink better, that's also okay. The colors you use for the outfit is totally up to you. It's totally customizable. You don't have to do 2 different shades of pink. You don't have to use red. You can use whatever colors you want. I just wanted to go with something kind of on a more traditional sense with Valentine's Day colors, generally which are shades of pink and or red. So in this case, I didn't have the kind of shades of any kind of shades of red that I'd like to have for this project, so I just went with 2 different shades of pink. So you'll see that I have to cover it up later, but I start with the outside area. I ended up with like this lighter shade of pink for the basic main color of the fabric, and then I go over the hearts with a brighter shade of pink. If I were to do this project again, I would have swapped those colors, but that didn't end up happening, and I just wanted to move on to the next part. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. And here you'll see that I'm working on the clouds once the background of the sky has dried up. So you can use 2 different methods. This one I actually did a dry brush method, and it just so happened that my white paint was actually thicker because it was nearing the end of its life, if you will. So I just use a dry brush technique and did circular motions. You could also do a watered down variation, as I mentioned earlier, and that'll work just as well. Depends on the kind of look of clouds that you want to go for. Either one would be just fine. If you want, try the watered down version first, and if you don't care for that, then go back in with more white paint in a circular motion on a dry brush, and then you'll get the look that you're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. The skin I kept pretty basic, and I go ahead and paint over the outline as well, just basically because it's such a small area and I'm going to be able to see through it anyways, that I'll be able to go back over and outline it anyways. And for the actual nose, I add in a little bit of one of my shades of pink just to like brighten it up a little bit so it doesn't look like this gnome has no life in her or something like that. It brightens her up. It makes her look so much better, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. Here I'm just finally getting around to painting the different hearts on the design of this gnome, and I recommend just that being a different shade, an obviously different shade of color than what you have for the rest of the outfit. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the process of this as well. Here it's obvious that I'm not satisfied with the shade of my nose on this gnome, so I go back in with my pink just to brighten her nose up even more. Just keep working on it if you feel like it needs it, but also be kind to yourself, because honestly, like, no painting will ever come out perfect anyways. It's just a matter of whether or not you like it, so that's entirely up to you as the creator. So next I went ahead and painted the hair. I happen to have two different shades of brown, so it's always recommended that you start with the lighter shade of color that you have on hand first, and then put the darker layer on top. So I went ahead and painted the entire two pigtails with light brown, and the name of the brown will be listed in the description box below. So then I took the darker, as it was drying, I went ahead and took the darker brown and layered it on top with just streaks to make it look like hair or represent the hair strands. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. To finish off this painting, I used my black chalk paint that I had on hand to paint the shoes and to start painting the butterfly. Once the paint is all dry, you can then go ahead and use your Sharpie to outline all the details that you'd like. To make this painting even better, I went ahead and got an 8x10 Dollar Tree frame to fit it in so that I can gift it to somebody or just display it on the wall or on a shelf or something. If you made it this far to the video, the discount code for the template is YouTube75 for 75% off, not 50%. I decided to give it an extra 25% off just for watching towards the end of the video. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Really appreciate you watching. Thank you for joining us today, and have a good day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.